Hey, welcome to our Radio Labyrinth Patreon-only exclusive show where we talk about shows like, well, right now, This Is Us. Wait, no. The last of This Is Us. Wouldn't it be funny if they mashed those two shows up, This Is Us and The Last of Us? I would watch that.
It kind of felt like that this last episode.
Yeah, it kind of did. Except that girl didn't need everybody. But that's what would happen.
Right. Oh, that was harsh.
I know. I'm doing this episode this week from a room that's filled with kittens that are right now suckling on their mother. And it's very, very beautiful thing to watch nature.
Jealous, Tim.
Yeah, she has sweet nips.
Not
That sweet catnip.
I picked her up. They're rough. Toughened your nipples, didn't it, kitty? When your little kitten's on the slab, where will it tickle you?
take this thing back to Baltimore.
Yeah, so The Last of Us, what is this, episode 7 that we just had to slog through?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to force myself to watch it. It was a little boring to me. I know that it was just one of those filler episodes before they get to the hospital and all the other terrible things that are going to happen. Plus, Pedro Pascal had to get to Tatooine or wherever the hell and get ready to don his Mandalorian gear. He and his little buddy Grogu are going on missions all over the galaxy.
I like that when he woke up and he was covered with that blanket and she was standing over him and he was like, "Oh my God, guys, what am I doing here?"
Don't get it. What are you talking about?
South Park.
From Saturday Night Live.
Oh, okay.
I thought she was going to hobble on Saturday Night Live.
I don't watch Saturday Night Live.
But Pedro Pascal was the host.
No, that was a good. That doesn't mean it was going to be good.
There was a few good. I saw some of the sketches, the cutting the steak at the dinner table one, and there's a few of them I saw. The Mario Kart one.
Yeah, the Mario Kart was great. Production on it was amazing.
The Mario Kart thing was.
That was referenced on the one where he wakes up from the coma in the hospital and he starts talking like it on the Californian sketch.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. I had our maintenance man today at work. He told me he was upset because his 12-year-old son got bullied because he called a boy he instead of they. And so he started crying and I was like, well, that's whatever. And then he says, any of you heard about these teachers that are allowing these kids to identify as cats and use a litter box? And I was like, okay, now you've just undone. Now I don't care.
Yeah, this is like some urban.
Right, exactly.
Our high school put out a memo about this.
That's what I'm saying. It's like
people. It was such a rampant rumor that they had to put out a memo or something saying this is not true. No students in the school are using litter boxes.
He was like, no, it's real. Look it up. Look it up. And I said, oh, okay.
These are QAnon people, right?
I guess. Yeah.
Now, as a side, Tim, today, that was coincidentally hilarious when you were doing Trump using a litter box, by the way.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I was just trying to remember it because you guys were talking about it. Like I said something about litter boxes today, but I don't remember what it was about. Was it Trump using a litter box?
He used the litter box in the bedroom so he doesn't have to go out at night, and Melania has to clean it up every morning.
That's right. Because I'm a MAGA cat and I did all the hipster poetry.
Yeah.
And she makes biscuits on my belly. Biscuits. And you can tell that we're really, really enthralled by this most recent episode of The Last of Us. Basically, at the beginning, you see the post previous episode. They find a house and they're in there, and Joel tells Ellie to go and leave and go back to his brother and leave him there to die. And so she starts contemplating it, and then she remembers something that happened with her girlfriend. And then they go to the mall, and it becomes Stranger Things for a few minutes, and then you hear Aha, which is probably the only 80s song they could afford licensing for. And then you hear the Aha, they're at the mall, then they play video games, and then a mushroom guy comes out and tries to kill them, and they both get bit, And then they go back and she sews up Pedro Pascal with she sews up Joel with a dirty needle and thread without sanitizing his cut, so he's dead.
I think I asked Neil about that, and he's still got she's gonna find antibiotics. That's what's gonna lead them into the next horror.
Well, I was wondering, is that's all just stuff that was made up for the show, right? That's not in the game. The backtracking where she's thinking about this friend of hers that
he said all that mall crap that was all in the game.
No,
really?
It was a DLC though.
Yeah, it was a downloadable extra that you could buy like 2 years after the game was out. They wanted more content, so you could just buy it.
I could see why people would be clamoring for that. It was so exciting.
Yeah, it wasn't. It didn't take the story, ahead much. But I did rewatch the first episode after watching this one.
Yes.
And you can tell Ellie, it's got to be real close to when, she was caught by them after. There's still got to be a scene where she gets caught by the fireflies after the mall, because they do bring up when Marlene, this is her name, Marlene, the head firefly, she said, now she brings up the girl's name. What's it, Riley? Is that her name? Yeah, she says, now Riley was a good person. And you see this look just drop over her face and she gets completely serious. So, I mean, it kind of reinforced that, yeah, this whole time, she after she died, that was it. She didn't think she would ever,
Where does Adam Baldwin show up?
Tim's pulling some Serenity
Or she just pulled
bullshit here.
Oh,
yes,
good.
I'm pulling Serenity bullshit. Serenity now. Okay, so thank you, Dustin. Steph and I went to the ATL Comic Convention, which is a touring convention that goes all over the country and puts on this big show. I love that they put everything in one building, one gigantic convention center, and on the second floor is where all the merch and all the panels take place. But they have this gigantic floor that's just tons and tons of space. I love it. I love it. I love Dragon Con too, but I'm just telling you, I just love the space. As an old fart who doesn't like to be out in the heat, it was fun. But it did get a little warm in there. And I have one regret, and I'll tell you what that is. We waited in line for like 20, 30 minutes to meet Jamie Farr. And then I thought, get the hell out of here. Because it was starting to get soupy over there, steamy hot.
They were all packing us in. We already had that one lady. She was like, when we pulled up, she was like, hey, you should have seen his nose. I mean,
Yeah, this lady.
you see his nose in person, it's really big. And we're like, no, duh, bitch.
I know his nose is big, but she kept talking about it. She's like we knew her, like we were best friends with her or something.
I hate that. Get away from us.
Yeah, but she was nice, but I mean, you don't know.
I mean, she was nice, but who cares? Get away.
And then that lady brought her kid, and the kid's throwing his train all over the place, and it's
Oh, Jesus. Oh, yeah. And they expected us to play trains with this kid. I'm like, get out of here. You act like this is like for kids or something, this whole event.
Yeah, your little kid wants to meet Jamie Farr. Guy will be dead before he has pubic hair.
No, that wasn't Jamie Farr. That was Seth Gilliam or whatever.
Oh, that's right, Seth Gilliam. Now, listen, I liked meeting Seth Gilliam, although I caught him at a bad time. He met another actor that was in line before me, and then he had to go take a dump. So he came back, but he did sign it, and I had him sign a picture from The Wire. And the funniest thing, he was, good luck getting Dominic to sign that. He didn't do this shit.
No, really.
Yeah. Who else did we meet? We saw everybody. It was cool. The Cobra Kai was just a madhouse, wasn't
Get
it?
anywhere near that shit.
Yeah.
Or the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, the Hobbits.
The Lord of the Rings shit was retarded. Like we could hear them down there screaming. They
Yep.
were going off down there.
And those dudes are big ass stars. I mean, they were then. And but yeah, that was like the everybody there. And we did wander around and saw some other people, but I got to talk to Butch Patrick, and Steph got to talk to Butch Patrick. He seemed like he had a little
You guys did a number on those tables.
We did. I tweeted about that, and he liked the tweet.
I liked it whenever at first when you were asking him, do you remember when you did the regular guys and he thought you were Opie and Anthony?
Yeah. He goes, that was some Summerfest, and I just like, nah, I'm not going to correct you. But he was there with Dragula, that car, the little race car that Eddie Munster had. And he was cool. He said he would do our show, and all we have to do is write him. So that'd be kind of cool. at munsters.com.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he would go back and forth between, like, he seemed like he was nice, but then he also seemed like he hated being there, and then he seemed like he was nice, and then he seemed like he hated your guts.
Yeah, man.
It's like,
great for that. He goes, yeah, he's still in the book. I know. I've heard interviews with you. I'm a fan, and I wanted to get your autograph. So thank you very much for giving me your autograph. I would have. I don't know where it is, or I'd show you. But Seth Gillen was cool, and then we saw everybody else. Who else did we see? Loretta Swit. She looked good.
Giancarlo Esposito.
Oh yeah,
His line was psychotic. It was crazy.
Yeah.
He looked regal in that picture you took.
Yes, he did.
He's standing up there like, I dare you to come talk to me.
He looked a lot like what's his face from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul.
Fring, yeah. He had the Fring look going on.
I got my right like that. So I would go to that again. Thanks for getting us the passes, Jeff.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff.
You guys had fun?
Yeah, it would have been nice if I had a lot more money and a lot more patience.
It was just, how it is. When it started, it never really did get crazy crowded where you couldn't move or anything. I wanted to go to a panel, so we went up to the third floor, and as soon as we got up there, I'm a sweatbox always. And as soon as we got off the escalator, I was like, no, it's hot. I can't do this. And we turned right back around.
Turn around, went to the radio station so I could load in my Saturday show with Jake the Snake Roberts. And then we went and scarfed down some Grindhouse.
Ah, so good.
Yes, it was. What did I have? Did I have the fries? Yeah, the fries. Oh, yeah, the crinkle cut fries.
How was the parking down there?
Down there?
Yeah.
At the Congress Center?
Well, we didn't have to drive on the grass and scream because we couldn't find our daughter.
That dumb idiot.
Yeah, we parked and had to walk, but it wasn't that far, like a quarter of a mile.
Yeah, on the way back, some chick pulls up on the sidewalk in her Nissan Rogue, gets out screaming on her phone, I can't find my daughter.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck you. She's yelling, fuck you. Everybody's honking at her. And she's on the phone going, I parked on the fucking sidewalk.
So over the top.
Like, why did you leave your daughter? Why didn't you have her get in the car with you, dumbass?
Get off the sidewalk.
Well, let me just say this. It was a fun time. I liked that convention. I think we went to the same one last year, did we not, Jeff? Is that where Bruce Campbell was at, or was it a different thing?
I think that was a different thing. That was like the days
that one. That was a
Pandemic.
pandemic. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, let's continue to go to these things, and maybe Jamie Farr will stick around, and I can meet him. His nose was fucking huge, though.
It was really big. She wasn't lying. It was huge.
That what do they say in The Sopranos? The camel nose fuck. Talking about poor young Christopher. All right, so that's our Patreon episode this week, and of course we'll be back next week. I think next week we will talk about The Last of Us, but there's only 2 episodes left, or 3.
It is 9. So yeah,
9. So 2 episodes left. So 2.
Next week should be really good.
Yeah.
So if you're a Patreon member that's listening or watching this in particular, you can suggest something that you'd like us to watch, a movie, a television show. Even if we haven't seen it, we'll all watch it and talk about it. That's something we're going to start doing. So you can post those comments right underneath this video in the Patreon group. It's real easy to do. And just put them in there. Simple.
No porn.
Well, 70s maybe.
Yeah, don't forget the classics.
But no, we're not going to talk about pornography. At least as far as you know. All right, guys, thanks a lot for your support. We hope you are enjoying these shows. They're for you, and we appreciate your comments. So if there's something you want to see, post it in the thread, and we'll take a look.
Dustin watched that gay cocaine bear porn.
Is that real, or did you Photoshop?
Photoshop. Yeah. It's the Blue Oyster Bar of movie theaters. You actually walk.
All right, we got to go. Talk to you later. Bye.